What's up, guys? This is Doctore. Welcome to another episode of the FPL Fantasy. I am back to the channel. Joe went solo in the last episode. Back to the channel, but I'm not back on Twitter. As you can see on my Twitter account, I was posting almost on a daily basis, but for the past couple of weeks, I just lost access to it. Don't know, hacked. I don't know. So I'm gonna make a new Twitter account. Follow Joe because I'm sure he will let you know what's my new Twitter. I'll do it over the weekend. But yeah, such as life. C'est la vie. Joe, how are you?
It just wasn't the same doing a solo run without you. There was nobody to talk about boring, bland, lame things like the template or effective ownership or things like that. So we're just really glad to have you back. So those stats monkeys can really, get their fix on this is what the template is and this is the way FPL should be played. But besides that, I'm excited to get into it. Double game week. I'm ready to talk about it.
Three topics as usual. We're going to talk about our triple captain. Are we going to triple captain Haaland or no? The double game weeks, naturally. Well, I'm not saying them in order. So, first, probably we're going to start with the double game weeks, triple captaincy, and we're going to end with our team reveals. Let's get into it, Joe.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So, we have a double game week coming up. Are you targeting any of the fixtures?
Yes, no, kind of. I'm bringing in double game week players. The issue that I have is it's not necessarily because of the double game weeks. I think it sets me up better going forward, but the doubles are interesting. My opinion, I don't think they're great doubles, but I think that there is points to be had, and there'll probably be some pretty nice attacking returns out of all of the games, and I mean all the games. So that's kind of where I'm sitting, just from a general standpoint on my transfers and people I'm going to bring in. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not only looking at this game week's double game week, potential double game week. Of course, we follow Ben Krill, all of us do, and there is high potential for Manchester United to double again in game week 22. So I think I'm going for three Manchester United this game week. I'm gonna target my transfers towards that. And a word of caution as well. Just literally 5-10 minutes before recording this video, we got the news that possibly FPL Focal tweeted that possibly Darwin Núñez might be injured and out for 3 weeks. It's rumors, but the pressers are tomorrow. Klopp's presser is tomorrow, plus possible double game weeks announcement. So if you haven't done your transfers and you're watching this video, just wait until tomorrow. And remember, the deadline is actually tomorrow evening. So I would wait as long as possible, but I will still do the transfers 15 minutes, half an hour at least before the deadline in case the site crashes, as we know it can happen. So double game week potential for Manchester United in game week 22, along with the Leeds. I wouldn't target any Leeds players, not yet, but Manchester United triple with a double this game week and a double in a couple of game weeks, and then very nice fixtures going through, let's say up until game week 28. That's what I checked. So Manchester United definitely. Man City, the main question here. If you could choose any three, Joe, from Manchester City, which three would you go for?
Which three? Does money count?
No.
I would probably go Haaland, KDB, and given current form, Mahrez. But on probably any other day, I'd probably go with Ederson.
Those are not bad shouts. I would add Stones if he's fit. We're going to hear from Pep Guardiola also tomorrow. And if we hear that Stones is fit, I would probably bring him in. He's been in the starting lineup for a while now. He's starting over and over again, but he wasn't fit to play in the Cup during midweek. He might be back fit. Great value to enter the Man City defense. However, like you mentioned, the three I would go for. A lot of people are preferring three attack, but then you start worrying. Mahrez is always one game away from being benched. Ederson not. So if you want safety and want access to Man City defense, yeah, Ederson probably is a great shout. Cancelo, do you think he will start any of the games in the double game week, Joe?
Maybe the second one, he might start. I can't see him starting the first one. I mean, he was in the defense for their cup game. Defense looked awful. I can't see him starting the first of the double. He'll probably come in and play against Spurs, so we'll see.
Would you sell him?
Would I sell him? I did,
Yeah.
like 3 game weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you had him in your team, in your team. Would you sell him?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's too much money tied up in him, and I know that there was a little bit of a Twitter thread out there that Cancelo was actually kind of outperforming his past season's self, but I feel like there's better ways to distribute that money and bring in cheaper defenders, especially right now. I mean, you could bring in Lewis if you wanted, and he seems probably more nailed than anybody else in the defense besides Ederson, and you'd get the clean sheet points and maybe a rogue attacking return, which Cancelo hasn't been able to get attacking returns in the Premier League this year. So if you have to have a defender, just go Lewis, really.
Absolutely. I would absolutely agree with that. Cancelo's not offering the value that we want from him. He seems like to be out of favor. Again, Cancelo one match and all of a sudden he's in favor and he plays every single game, scores hat-tricks and everything. Man City is pretty unpredictable. Pep Guardiola is pretty unpredictable. So you don't want to go into every game worried that one of the most expensive defenders in the game would play or no. I wouldn't go really, 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 really out of my way to get him out, but if I can kind of fund somewhere else, as you will see from my team reveal later, I will probably sell him as well. I'm looking into it. I'm not sure if I will sell him this game week. I might just leave him this game week and see what happens, or I might sell him because he can fund something really nice for me when it comes to the rest of the team and the double and how the double are falling. Spurs and Crystal Palace. Those two teams have a double this game week. Spurs, not very favorable. Crystal Palace, same almost. So, what do you think about those two?
The Spurs are much more favorable than Crystal Palace. I think Spurs are up there with City, not necessarily United, because United have Crystal Palace that they play against, and well, we saw what happens when Crystal Palace plays recently. They don't defend, and they give up a lot of goals. I think Spurs, the real thing that I'm kind of looking for that would be a little bit of a risk is what happens with that Spurs attack, because Kulu rumored to possibly be coming back, but also there's rumors that he was training and wasn't necessarily feeling 100%, so maybe he appears in the second, and that really, I'm not saying bring in Kulu, I'm saying he contributes to that attack a lot. Kane, if you don't have him in, why not? Why not? I mean, everybody has Haaland. Kane should be equally in. He's a couple points behind, I believe. We also, I think, should be possibly considering a defensive asset out of Spurs. I know it seems wild, but Man City is typically a interesting fixture for Spurs. All right, so for Spurs versus City, the home team has won by a clean sheet in every single game since 2020, except for the most recent game, where Spurs actually won as the away team 2-3. Interesting, not necessarily saying that history will 100% repeat itself, but I don't know. This Spurs team looks dangerous, and I see Kane scoring, especially if they come out playing like they did against Southampton. And then, I mean, looking at Spurs versus Arsenal, home team has won every game since 2022. So, and that's a Spurs home game. Could be interesting. I think we might be sleeping as FPL managers on the Spurs. As far as Crystal Palace, if you have anybody in your team, you're playing wrong. I know there's no wrong way to play, but you're doing it wrong. If you brought in Zaha, just delete the app, delete the whole website, delete the internet from your life, please. What's going on? That's my thoughts. I know you disagree a little bit with my Spurs takes, but as a Spurs fan and just a couple stats that I looked up, I don't know. It seems like an interesting double.
Absolutely. I think I would bring Kane, definitely. That's the only player I would kind of target to bring in because the fixtures are nice when it comes to an attacking point of view. You're playing two of the strongest defenses. Having said that, you're playing two of the strongest defenses in the league, but you have Fulham, Leicester between Man City in game week 21 and 23. So you're also looking for the long term, especially if you're committing on Harry Kane. So I think Harry Kane is a good shout. Off camera, you and I, we spoke that you're interested in some defenses, and I said I wouldn't bring any defense because Arsenal can score, Man City can score, Fulham can score, and then Man City can score again. So you're heavily depending on attacking returns, especially if you're bringing a full back, because you're depending on attacking returns. You're bringing a full back who's not for sure going to start every single game. It's just too much headache. So I wouldn't bring a defender from Spurs, but Kane, definitely I would try to bring him in if possible. Crystal Palace, I would absolutely avoid. You know how much I love Crystal Palace, but they have
Yeah.
Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, Manchester United again, Brighton, Brentford, and Liverpool. Terrible run of fixtures. Yes, they have the double, but it's a terrible run of fixtures. So I would absolutely avoid even Zaha. He might score one goal and or assist here and there, but you're looking for the upside, and the upside is not there.
Yeah. Zaha's that weird player that does nothing all season and still ends with 170 points, and everybody's just like, is he good? Is he? Maybe not. I'm not sure. And everybody buys in the next year. He does nothing, scores 170 points, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like he scores like two goals and an assist in one game and then disappears for three. And then he comes the next game and two goal and assist. And then he takes a long goal, an assist, a goal, an assist, and a goal. And it's just like very inconsistent. So for FPL, from FPL point of view, it's a bit difficult to fit him in
Yeah.
confidently. Let's say he's not a captainable option even in the easiest fixture of the season. So it's very unpredictable. He can score two goals versus Manchester United and all of a sudden blanks versus, I don't know, Wolves or Bournemouth. So yeah, he's very unpredictable. I absolutely agree.
Yep.
Moving on to the next topic, captaincy. Well, everybody will captain Haaland. There is some argument to be made for Rashford, but the main topic is triple captaincy. Are you considering triple captaincy, Joe?
No. No. No chance. I'm going to get flack for this. I'm going with Kane. I'm giving Kane the armband because I think Kane is as viable to score as Haaland. And I don't know. I don't know. It just feels right. Especially if Spurs show up, Kane's getting the armband for me. Haaland, I think, is interesting. I think he's in a little bit of a slump right now. Of course, he'll probably go and score, 45 points, and then, you throw a captain ban on that, and there you go. He's got a 90-point game week. So I'll probably regret it, but, that's what makes the game fun. I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. As far as the triple captain, I understand if you think that these are very favorable fixtures, which I understand because the Spurs, they have one of the worst defenses down the center. I get it. That makes sense. You can throw the captaincy on Haaland, feel comfortable against the Spurs because Haaland sits central most of the game. Triple captaincy, they're not good fixtures. They're really not great fixtures for City if we sit down and think about it. They're okay, but they're nothing that like really makes you salivate and be like, "Oh yeah, here's a 60 or an 80 point triple captain coming." I've heard the comment of, "Yeah, but we don't know about the future." Where, okay, you don't know because City lost against Southampton in the game. So that freed them up for one potential double game week or blank game week that we had possibly mapped out in the future. There's still plenty more doubles that are possible. And then I know the next thought was, well, you don't know if Haaland is going to be healthy in the future. Stop trying to predict the future. It's not a thing. If you wanted to do that, you should have triple captained him in game week 1 when you knew he was starting, because who knew that Haaland was going to be healthy for game week 20 when there was possibility of a chance of a double game week, but we weren't sure. Like, don't try and do this weird future prediction of, well, maybe he's going to have, too big of a meal the night before and he's going to feel a little sluggish in game week 23. No, stop it. Is it a good game week to triple captain? No, thank you. Move on.
I actually would like to disagree with you when it comes to this. I'm leaning towards triple captaining Haaland, actually. I would say I'm 55%, 45. So it's going to be a gut feeling for me right on the deadline. If I feel like it, I will do it. Because the way I think about it, I'm going to triple captain Haaland this season. I want to triple captain Haaland this season. It's just about when, right? Now, like you said, we don't try to predict the future, but also you have some indications. The next best time for me to triple captain Haaland is game week 23 when he has a double again. It's Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Much more favorable fixtures. Well, I would say not much more, but favorable fixtures. More favorable fixtures than this game week. However, there are other commitments. Haaland was relatively rested yesterday. There are Champions League games to be played around that time. Again, like you said, we don't know if Haaland's going to start both. At least he will have more chance of getting 290 minutes this game week. So I'm leaning towards triple captaining Haaland. Other players, there are shouts, Rashford, Salah, during the rest of the season. But Haaland, we captain him most of the game weeks. We might as well triple captain him as well. So I'm leaning towards triple captain Haaland this game week. So it's going to be fun when you have EO of 250 and Joe captained Harry Kane. It will be very interesting to see. So, but yeah, I'm leaning towards that because I want to captain Haaland, and there is no better time to captain him now since we know that probably he will start both games. He probably will start both games in game week 23 versus Villa and Arsenal, but his minutes might be managed. Alvarez, with his World Cup, also might get some time from Haaland. But yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our teams?
Yeah. Let's get into the teams.
Having said all that, let's move to our team reviews, and we're going to start with Joe's team. Joe, what's your plan?
Yeah, well, I think the surprising thing everyone will see is Patterson is in my starting lineup. I think he's better than Mitrovic, Saliba, and Andreas. I think he's going to crush it this week. I mean, yeah, red flag, but what does that really mean? No. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. Test me. My team's here, okay? I already have Kane in. I don't have to worry about that. He's got the captain ban. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll either love it or hate it. Follow me on Twitter to watch me rage out or watch me confess my undying love for Harry Kane. It'll be great. We can have people live tweet it. Haaland, great. He's in the team. What I'm looking at is taking out Saka and bringing in Mahrez. He's been in good form. He's in great form in cup games. I think not the last one. That doesn't count. But because he didn't play in the last one. So first off, he's rested. Great. I think he's ready to play the double. If he comes in, he can perform really well. He's been performing really well. He's been finding the shots, the passes, the movement that City needs to kind of make things work for them. So Mahrez coming in for Saka. Now Patterson, my favorite starter that I think I captain this week, I'm actually going to take out, and I am going to bring in everybody's pick. Good old Luke Shaw. Woo! Oh my gosh, shows being template. This is so weird. I mean, United have done well defensively. He has a double. I wouldn't mind owning if United's defensive form keeps up. Yeah, bring in a defender. Shaw, might as well. He's performing really well. Dalot, I think he got an injury, but I think he's up in the air on whether he's going to play or not. I haven't heard anything really confirming one way or another. So Shaw's going to be my guy. And then now for my good old -8, because we can't leave anything just the way it is. I think I'm actually going to probably take out Cucurella, who going up against Crystal Palace, so it's a little dangerous because there's a clean sheet possible there. And I think I'm going to bring in my man, Matty Doughboy, Doherty from Spurs. Bring him in. He's been performing really well. Okay. I understand it seems like it's a chasing points thing because he got 14 points this last game week. If you watched our channel for a while, you know that I'm a fan of him. He finished the season really well last year. I think he's starting to pick up that form now. He has he leads defenders second most for shots, which love that. Keep shooting, score some goals, bud. And then he is first, I want to say. First or second for touches in the opponent's final third. That's right where you want people to be to get those attacking points. Now, I understand they're going up against a tough matchup, but sending anything into the box, dribbling in, getting that rogue ball, just hitting it as it pops out of the 18 from, a okay clear on a cross. Yeah, I think he's perfect. I want him for other game weeks rather than a double. Like I said, I'm targeting doubles, but not really targeting doubles, targeting the players that I think will perform well now and after. It's kind of weird to have a bench lineup of Mitrovic, Saliba, Andreas. I think Mitrovic is more counted for points, so if somebody misses, he comes in. Saliba, I don't think that's going to be a clean sheet there. I think there's going to have to be attacking returns, and it's more likely Mitrovic is going to get me that than Saliba. And Andreas, if you're looking at Andreas and you have Mitrovic and you're trying to decide between the two, Mitrovic is the answer. Doc, that's my team. That's my thoughts. Roast me.
Well, we usually don't talk about your team off camera, but we talked about it. And to summarize, I don't mind Mahrez shout. Great differential he's going to be. Shaw is an auto pick. I'm going to bring him in. I was targeting to bring in Dallo, but like you mentioned, he was taken off for a precaution around the 35th minute in the last cup game. So you don't want to go there pre-double game week. My target was Dallo, not Shaw, but now kind of auto pick Shaw. So I don't mind the first two transfers. And for the reasons I mentioned in earlier segments, I wouldn't bring a Spurs defender, at least not at this point. Not with the way they've been playing defensively, and not with the fact that he's a rotation risk, possibly.
Live a little.
Especially for a -4. But yeah, it's like, especially when you're taking a player that would probably play at home versus Crystal Palace, who are part of a double game week. They're going to have a double game week. So, yeah.
Love it. Love the comments. It wasn't that bad of a roast. That's okay.
I'm telling you, you've changed. You're going sensible.
Shaw's the only sensible one. Everybody else has become my template. My team is the template.
Fair enough.
All right. I got your team up, Doc. Talk to us about it. What's up?
Earlier, we mentioned that Darwin Núñez might be injured, that we got some leak, or FPL Focal mentioned that someone DM'd him. I just saw on Twitter that Telegraph is reporting that Darwin Núñez is a doubt for this weekend. So I need to do something about it. So my initial plan, looking at the team right now, my initial plan was to take out Reece James, bring in Shaw, and Mitrovic out for Martial. 2 free transfers, no hit. We go into the double game week, we are laughing. Now, with this Darwin Núñez, I've been thinking, let's say, off the top of my head on the fly right now, and I'm thinking probably Darwin Núñez allows me to bring in Harry Kane. In order to bring in Harry Kane, I can bring him without a hit by downgrading Cancelo probably to Stones or a Man City defender, and upgrading Darwin Núñez to Kane. On the other hand, that means Reece James stays in my team. Somehow I cannot get rid of him. Potter said he's on the grass now, but he's still not training with the team, so I don't expect him to play for the next couple of game weeks. I don't want to hold on to him. I might move in James to someone else for a -4, but that means no Martial. I still have to tinker, but the target is either Kane, Shaw is definitely coming in, probably Martial will come in, maybe Harry Kane, and then some City defender. So I'm all over the place because of the news that we just literally while we are recording this video. So I'm a bit lost now, but I had a plan, which was Shaw and Martial in. Now probably Harry Kane will come in and maybe downgrade Cancelo. We will see. I will still tinker. Transfers will be done Friday night. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I like your thoughts there, because I wanna do a little interactive thing, because people learn better that way. I feel like I have Darwin Núñez here. Okay, you pretend this is Darwin Núñez, right? He's in your team. Let me help you. Case in point, bring in Kane. Sounds good. Love the team, Doc. James is still in there. Why the heck? Sure, fine. Get rid of him. He's even worth a -4. But, play your game. Don't make me tell you how to play your team.
Well, let's see how it goes. There's still a lot of tinkering to do. I wish we could have recorded this tomorrow after doing some tinkering tonight, but I kind of have a plan in my head. Like I said, shows an auto pick. I want Martial or I want at least triple Man United. It's a good chance to jump on. Nunez put spanner in the works, or how whatever the expression is, and yeah, let's see if Harry Kane comes into my team.
Yeah, I like it, and that's the interesting thing about our transfers. I feel like both of us have had our transfers in our minds since the beginning of the week, and we've kind of stuck through. We were considering maybe a change due to information, injuries, cup games, and seems like for the most part it's rang pretty true, our original plans.
Yeah, absolutely. Having said all that, I hope everybody enjoyed the episode, enjoyed having me back, and I hope you follow me on my new Twitter account once it's live. I hope I can launch it this weekend. It's been crazy busy with the work this because it's the beginning of the year as usual. If not, it will be probably during February. Joe, would you like to say goodbye to our audience?
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope we gave you some good information, some good thoughts on what to do with your team. You know what to do with Darwin. Rewind about a minute and a half and figure that out again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most of all, let's get these points, people.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode.
All right.
Peace.
Peace all.